Welcome to the What Were You Thinking podcast.
Welcome to the What Were You Thinking podcast. This is my best friend, my brother, Travon Potts. Travon is not only a phenomenal, exceptional musician, producer,
You're very kind, sir.
composer. I'm
You're
not
super.
He's a
You're
musical
being super
genius. Not only that, he's one of the people that helped me as far as developing my relationship with the Lord, because God connected us at 3 years old in church, and he was like a little kid asking me why I wasn't taking notes on the sermon and challenging me to think about what I was hearing and not just accept it. You are a husband, father, extremely successful. Your children are beyond bright and intelligent and creative.
as yours are, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Are, sir.
Your wife is an amazing human being and businesswoman.
Yeah.
Advice for anyone watching, especially men out there who are married, want to be married, have kids, want to have kids. What advice would you give them when it comes to family?
Wow, that's a very good question. I'd probably say two things. One part is being willing to have conversations and creating safe zones for those conversations. It was funny because I was talking to my kids about this, and our family talks a lot. When working through things, we talk a lot. We talk through it, and it'll take a long time to get through things, and work through things. But that's just our way of doing it. So that's what we do a lot of. And it's funny that in mentioning this, because and asking my kids, I said, we talk a lot. What other family is like ours that you feel that? What other families like that? And they said the Williams, meaning your family, that your family talks a lot like we do, and that you work through things in a very similar manner.
Yeah.
But and I think probably the other thing, conversations, talking through things a lot, and I think the one thing that is a lost thing a lot of times with parenting is modeling. I find that, like, one time, and I promise you I'm not bifurcating, but one time I was the kids, I wanted them to clean their bathroom. And so what I had all the kids do was I had all the kids come in the bathroom, and I had them stand and watch me clean the bathroom, clean the tub, clean the toilet, clean the sinks, the counters, fold things, put everything together and do the whole thing. And the idea was that at that point they could be held accountable when I asked them to clean the bathroom.
Yeah.
And so the idea was I was modeling that for them. I try to do that in a lot of things as it relates to exercise and eating and all that, more so than just, I'm going to tell you these things. And it's not so much that I'm doing this and saying that from the standpoint of because I'm best, but because I'm just trying to do things better. And so hopefully that'll be something that they would strive for, because it's been modeled that this is how I'm doing it, not just I'm telling you to do these things.
You also do a good job of not trying to guide the conversation or the discussion. You'll put a topic out there and you'll let your children, and this is something I wish I had done better with my family, is you let them go. You let them go. You let them emote. You let them go, and you let them feel what they feel, say what they say. We talk a lot in our home, and that happens to a degree. But I feel like you guys are almost what good looks like when it comes to parenting like that and doing that. And so it takes, no, it's true. And it takes a real leader and a real man to not be afraid to allow that to happen. Because at the end of the day, you have to trust God. And we've gotten better at it through the years, but a lot of it is because of our friendship, and because when you're linked together with like-minded families, you make each other better.
Yeah. As with you and Angie, one of the things that I admire about you is that, uh, not to say that we don't have them, but as far as you all, as far as standards, there are standards. there is a certain place where things need to be, and there are times where it's just you can't be wavering in any way. You need to hold to those things, and I admire that about the two of you, in that you basically have said, "Hey, nope." this is what this is going to be, and we're going to hold you to that. So
yeah.
I love the two of you for that. We're part of the Mutual Admiration Society. This is who we are.
Yeah.
Those are things that I admire about you, and that's where we've looked and seen with you, where we have become better as a result of seeing that, and you all do that. So.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that, Trey. And I feel like, our children benefit, and Craig's not here, but, the Youngs, the Williams, the Potts, the Pill Youngs, as we call ourselves.
Yes, the Pill Youngs.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
can't wait for your audience to meet Craig.
Oh, yeah, me neither. I'm looking forward to that. Well, I've witnessed our children benefiting, because people don't understand when you jump into this marriage and family thing, this parenting thing, there's so much you don't know, and you try your hardest and you do your best. But when you have friendships, when you live in community with people you love, then the things you miss, it's like, because it does take a village, the other part of that village will pick that up. So I thank God that my children have your children as best friends, and have Bryce as a best friend, and they're not even best friends, they're just family. And they have each other to give them that balance, because we all miss stuff as parents, but if you can connect your families to good tribes and have a good community, by the grace of God, a lot of things that you don't get, he makes up for it through community.
Well, it's about better to me. It's like I find that a lot of times when it comes to people who are parents or people who are spouses, they're caught up on assuming that their way of thinking or their way of doing things is the best. And really, I'm kind of obsessed with better. Like, what is the better way, and what things can you bring into your understanding to make you better? And so for me, I know that there have been times where I don't mind pushing my kids to say, hey, you need to talk to Uncle Brad about this, or you need to talk to Uncle Craig about this, or Auntie Julie or Auntie Angie, and because the idea is, and even more so than all of that, I may have this, but your mom is a lot smarter and wiser than I. So this is something that I know that she would be much more of an authority on than I am, which is most things. So, but the idea is pushing them to who is, and bringing around them, like I said, the community, the tribe, so that they can be better, and not just assume that what I have and what I say is the absolute best. It's getting who is better and bringing that around so that the kids can be better.
Couples have been separating at a higher rate because they've been together so much during this pandemic. What would you tell couples who are struggling right now?
Wow, that's big. Well, I think it really goes back to talking. I mean, it goes back to communication. It's weird to give in some senses, giving advice because of the nature, like Tandra being director and a producer, and me being in music and scoring and writing and all of that, we literally are around each other and work together, 24 hours.
Yeah.
So we're used to constantly talking, constantly communicating, but by being that way, it only makes us stronger. So I would think that by communicating and talking a lot, that could only help. And as a part of that, there's the scripture that always speaks about, wives submitting.
Yeah.
And that's the guys bring that up all the time. But what they miss is that there are a couple scriptures before that where it says submitting yourselves to one another, which means both people are submitting.
Yeah.
Which means that both people are looking for what is best, and what is the thing where you can come up under the person that you're with, that you can be empathetic, that you can look for what is best. The thought for a lot of people would be, well, if two people are submitted, who's in control at that point? And then that's when we get into my beliefs, and that's where I know that God is in control at that point. He's truly controlling and guiding the relationship. And so I guess it's those two things, communicating a lot, being submitted to one another. And then probably lastly, it would be praying together.
Travon, it was fantastic. You were perfect.
You are a fan. What people don't know is these are our conversations.
Yes, absolutely. And that's the whole premise behind all this. Like, we have great conversations like this, full of a lot of different stuff. And I'm glad now, because of technology, we can bring the world in on the conversation, because to my point earlier, we're saying what we're saying so that people can discover, so people can think, so people can hear different perspectives, from different people. And I'm honored that I had the Travon Potts on the show.
This was a lot of fun. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of what you are building.
Also, my nephew, Thomas, Travon's son, has an exceptional podcast called The Claves. It's on YouTube, and it's also going to be all over the place, probably Spotify and Google Play and iTunes as well. So check out Tom's podcast called The Claves. It is one of the best, most provocative, most thought-provoking sports podcasts that you're ever going to hear, witness, listen to. So check him out.
Yes.
Wait, hold on. I got to pause. Wait 1 second. Be right back.
Okay. We're paused here. We're paused. I hope there's no edit. I hope that while we are paused, we're seeing this empty chair and there's no edit, so that the whole audience can feel that I've been abandoned. I'm sitting here by myself. Brad has left his own podcast, and so I'm just sitting here. And audience, if you are still watching this, if you are still here, you are witnessing me alone with no one here. And there's a microphone in a black room, and we just have to sit and wait. I don't know even what I'm prepared for. I don't know if I should be concerned, but I will just sit and hear footsteps.
Oh.
What happened? What's going on?
I had to potty.
All right, gotcha.
Yeah,
I hope you don't edit that out.
I don't think I will, knowing me. But yeah, at 50 years old, you can't play around when you gotta. You
gotta go on and get there. Get there.
Yeah, it's not a game.
No, there's no games. No games.